Sacrifice Ghana youth for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. Yes, it's another episode of the National Agenda. And, you know, we are having the segment I call Youth in Leadership. And today we are fortunate to have in the studios with us the interim executives of the newly formed Ghana Youth Federation. And I have the president here. Just give him the opportunity to introduce himself, and then I'll go on to the next gentleman sitting beside him.
Yep.
So, yes, sir, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much. My name is Sharif Gali, and like you rightly said, I'm the acting president for the newly inaugurated Ghana Youth Federation, the apex body, constitutional body representing youth across Ghana. But before then or aside that, I'm also the chief servant or the chief executive officer for Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, which is also the official mouthpiece of young people doing business across Ghana. And just early this year, the president appointed me to the National Youth Authority Board, representing the interests of all independent youth groups across Ghana. Yeah, so thank you for having me.
You heard it from the gentleman. And let me not waste time. Let's go quickly to our next guest and take just a word from him, maybe an introduction, and then we continue.
So my name is Eric Asamoah Rinchi. Yeah, I'm also the organizer for the Ghana Youth Federation. And I'm also currently serving as the Secretary for Finance for National Union of Ghana Students. That's NUGS. So basically, this is me.
That's interesting to know. It looks as though the Ghana Youth Federation is more or less like an amalgamation of all the various mouthpieces of the youth groups we have in the country. I don't know if, I stand corrected.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. It's the apex body. So, the membership of the federation are non-registered youth groups. So like the NUGS, the National Union of Ghana Students. We have the National Network of Youth Groups. We have the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, where I come from, the Catholic Youth Organization, Ghana Muslim Youth. So every organized youth group the federation is like the apex body, bringing all of them together.
Wow, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
But let me just go into where this whole initiative came from. We know it's a government initiative. I stand corrected anyway. And in which department is this coming from? Maybe you can talk to us about it.
So, thank you very much. So you are right to say it's a government initiative because it's a national initiative, not necessarily government. Okay. Just that nationally who leads the agenda is government, right? So the federation is, as an apex body representing the interests of young people, definitely government has a huge interest in it and a stake to play. So you would see that government is playing a critical role, and that is why the Minister of Youth did the launching on behalf of the President at the National Youth Conference. But the federation in its setting is actually supposed to be an independent youth group, non-partisan, that is supposed to represent the interests of youth across Ghana. But it works hand in hand with the government of the day. And so you would see the federation works closely with the government, but not necessarily for government. The government arm is the National Youth Authority, which is more or less where the president appoints the CEOs and then the leadership. But when it comes to the federation, it is for the youth of Ghana. Their youth groups to elect their leaders, and they represent them, but they speak to government. If you go to other countries like Nigeria, Italy, and some other countries, even the US, they have similar groups that are very powerful, that they can even make representation to parliament. They can even send representation to sit on every state agency board. And that is how powerful the youth representation is. So we are privileged to be the interim leadership. And our work is to mobilize the youth across Ghana, get the federation formalized, get them on board, and be able to now represent their voices and hand over to the first democratically elected leadership, which will be doing by the grace of God very soon.
Even on that trajectory, I am tempted to ask, because you're an interim leader, we understand that you are supposed to see to the proper institutionalization of the GYF.
Exactly.
And once we are going to get into the zone of elections, people are scared. There are people who believe that once we get there, then we begin to politicize it all over again. Meanwhile, we understand that your mandate is to be what? A joint mouthpiece for the youth.
Yeah.
Do you agree with these assertions, or you stand, on the other side, or you differ from it?
I totally agree. There's a tendency of politicization of structures and systems as far as a strong representative body like the Federation is concerned. But that is where you play a role. That is where I play a role. You from the media, your platform, I from wherever I lead, from young people. And I'm telling my leadership that this mandate for us, just like you are afraid, I'm also equally afraid of that, but we would make sure that it is not politically driven. Yes, of course, anything that is about election, you need to be aware of the other things that would happen, but we'll do our best to not make it politically driven. And that is why, if you look at the current charter constitution that we are working with, the transitional constitution, we've made it clear that party groups cannot even take leadership. Like, with all due respect, the things, the TESCONs, they can't.
We don't groups.
Exactly. They can be part of the Federation, but they cannot stand for leadership.
But we don't. Sorry to cut, but let's not underestimate the fact that even though they cannot be part of leadership, they can still do their whipping.
Yeah, well,
along the lines.
You see, you can't take away those background work. Okay. It would be there. But that's why I say that it takes you, me, and the rest of Ghanaians who will be watching us today to make the Federation a different organization. We will do our part as interim leadership.
That's fine.
But it will take everybody, the media, the youth groups, to know that this is ours. Enough of political interference in everything we do. How can we make this stand as a powerful voice for us and not politically motivated? It will take all of us that.
Good. I appreciate that. I feel so inspired by how you speak passionately about the youth. Earlier today, I was in another discussion with a couple of people, a couple of advocates just like you, and we're looking at how we can get the youth to make impact in our democracy we practice. Ghana has a youthful population. And in everything we do, it looks as though it is the youth that is our engineering machinery. Now, there are other people who are speculating that the youth have been left out whenever it comes to national policy making or national policy analysis. And so, even though they are left out, when it gets to implementation, now they want the youth to respond. I would want to just shift that into our conversation and find out, don't you agree? Don't you think that the youth have been left out when it comes to national policy analysis? A lot of decision is taken and the youth does not have a voice. You mentioned that even in Nigeria, the youth represent in parliament, but the case is different here. I don't know what you have to say about that.
If I had not agreed to what you asserted, I wouldn't be leading the Ghana Youth Federation. It is true that over the years, youth has been spoken for and not speaking themselves.
Exactly.
And even when we have the opportunity to speak, our voices do not go anywhere.
Wow.
You have young people who are in parliament. The last time we engaged them, and they will tell you, in parliament, they even say that you are young. So you are bench banker, no matter what, you are backbencher, no matter what it is. So it has to get to a certain point in time before you have the voice. So this is the two things happening in Ghana now. It is either they cook the policy, or they kill the bird, remove the feathers, and come and ask the young people, what bird is this? It's difficult to identify what bird it is, right? And the other thing too is that, okay, we have the bird now, let us go and cook together. But we have already added the nchini, we have already added the water and everything.
Yeah.
So just come and test. So it has been a very big thing for Ghanaian youth. And so those who say that, yes, we are not involved, it's true. We are not involved. But we are even moving the discussion from just involvement. There's one thing about being involved and one thing about being heard. So the youth must be involved, one thing, in taking decisions for our future. Because you can't create a future for me when I'm not part of it.
Exactly.
You will not be there. Exactly. So you sit in your offices, in your high level tables and tell me that this is what I think you feel. It's just like a doctor looking at you and say, this man, I think you are suffering from headache. No, they need to what? Engage you. That's why a doctor will ask you, when was the last time you had this headache? When did you sleep? What did you think? What was the last thing you've taken? Because they need to give you a diagnosis that really matches your problem. Exactly. But when you don't engage the young person and you go on the table and think that the young people need this, you are prescribing without engaging them. And so that is where we want to move away from, not just engaging the youth. Let them be on the table. Let them take the decision. And when it comes to the implementation, sit down and trust us to lead it. Because if you don't give us the chance to make the mistake, to err, to learn, then how can we become experienced leaders like you
Exactly.
are? So they should allow us, and that is why the Federation is now formed. And I'm grateful to this government. I'm grateful to all other government, but this government promised in their youth manifesto that they'll get the Federation launched. And it's the constitutional right of every Ghanaian youth. And they did that. Now, we have formed it. We have interim leadership. They'll be working. We'll see whether they really intend what they said. And the intention would be to allow the voices of the young people to really matter in national development.
Right. That's good to hear. Eric, let me just come back to you.
I think with what Chairman, the question you just asked, I would say that it's better late than never.
Okay.
And then the time has come. And then one of the things that we used to say is that we, the youth, are the future leaders. I think the time has come. We should now embrace it that we are now the future.
Okay.
So we don't need to wait for tomorrow. So that time where our leaders pretend as if the youths are parts of them and then they are involved in decision making, that pretense is no more.
It's no more.
Because we sit now, the youths, we have them. It's because of the youth we are doing this. Because of the youth we are doing that. But in reality, they neglect us.
That's true.
They don't involve us.
That's true.
But I think the time has come. Whether it was so or it wasn't, the time is now. So we need our people on board. We as interim leadership can't do it all. We are just 6 people. And then we have 16 regions in Ghana. If we are to take each person to take two regions, it will not be enough. So we need our people to rally behind us to take up this mantle, not just to sleep, but to make sure that the fight that we have been fighting over the years, we are prepared for it.
Okay.
So that as we take up our place, it wouldn't be like, we were not prepared. And then we were just fighting for fighting's sake. By the time has come. Yeah. So we need them on board to help us.
Aluta continua.
Victoria Seta.
I appreciate that a lot because, I have been a student and I'm still a student anyway. We never stop learning. I'm tempted to find out, Eric, how different is the GYF or the Ghana Youth Federation from NUGS? Because over the years, some of us have known the NUGS to be more or less like the mouthpiece for Ghanaian students. And I can base on that to say Ghanaian youth because it is the only student group, right? The youth group that has huge numbers of the Ghanaian youth, under its leadership or as members. How different is GYF from?
Let me pick it from this. I think 3 days ago or so, there was an issue at Tamale Technical University. And then when that issue came up, there were calls from all over to the NUGS president that he should speak up. The truth is that there is this, I wouldn't say rivalry, but there is this small friction between NUGS and GNUGS.
Because I understand, GNUGS have decided not to be members of NUGS.
Why am I bringing all this? What I'm trying to say is that NUGS now becomes a subordinate.
Okay.
Or more or less a subset of GYF. But what I would say is that it shouldn't be like NUGS trying to rub powers or shoulders with GYF. Because we are all saying that, we are in for the betterment of the Ghanaian youth. If so, whichever direction we pick it from, we should be able to work in accordance.
Okay.
But the truth is that NUGS is for the Ghanaian students.
Okay.
GYF is for all Ghanaian youths.
Regardless of the educational background, whether the person has been to school
or
not.
But when it comes to fighting for the good of the Ghanaian people, we shouldn't segregate and say that, NUGS should go this way, GYF should go that way. We should all work together. I think that is the point where we can all reach the wider touch of the Ghanaian people.
I think your explanation clearly gives us the difference.
Just to add up to national organizers' point, it's when we say an apex body, that if you see the Ghana Youth Federation, it's not a individual member-based organization. It's a group-based organization. So NUGS is a member of the federation. Junux is qualified to be a member of the federation, any other group. So our interest is the interest of NUX. The federation interest is what is NUX doing for the student populace of the Ghanaian youth.
Okay.
Even the youth organized under media. If you have a media, youth, whatever, they are also under the federation. Okay. Our interest is what you and your leadership is doing for the Ghanaian youth or the youth under you. So if NUX is working, JUNUX is working, National Union of Students, disabled youth groups are all working, then the federation is working. Okay. So the federation work is to serve the platform, to support NUX to deliver, to support JUNUX to deliver, and all of the other groups under it. So there's no comparison here. It's like, if we want to compare, it's like comparing somebody to the grandfather who has different children. Exactly. So the federation has the grandfather, and then we are the parents, and then we also have our children. So that is the federation.
I was going to ask questions about mandates and objectives, but I think even throughout our conversation, we've been able to outline some of the objectives. I mean, some of the things you stand for, but I'm still interested. Maybe you will just be a bit technical with us and let the viewers know what exactly the Ghana Youth Federation is in to do. Maybe then we'll appreciate those things better, even though we've had a discussion around it.
Awesome. So the Ghana Youth Federation, I would try to make it less technical because we want to speak to the Ghanaian youth, like you said. And so
you don't, I mean, we don't mind. You can mix up the language.
Even
if it means that you do your local dialect, maybe if it's Twi, you can mix it up so that those who have not been to school before and still are members of.
Let's try that. That's sure. I'll try. Sometimes my Twi can.
So don't do the English. I'll try a new Twi for
exactly. So the Ghana Youth Federation, like I said, is the apex body. Its mandate is to mobilize and empower the Ghanaian youth to participate in national development in all sectors. So every sector, whether it's politics, it is tradition, it has to talk about social. Everywhere Ghanaian youth find themselves, it is the work of the federation to ensure we mobilize them, not just mobilizing, empower them, and after empowering them, ensure they participate in national development. And so, I don't want somebody to think that, it's all about political leadership. No, it's way more than political leadership. How are the young entrepreneurs faring in the economy? As far as market is concerned, the federation is interested in that. How are student leaders faring in the leadership circle? It is the federation. How are youth in politics faring in politics? It is the federation's mandate. So our mandate constitutionally is to mobilize and ensure that Ghanaian youth are empowered, that they contribute to our national development at every sector of the development.
That's interesting.
Recently, the president organized formed the Council of Advisors. If we had the Youth Federation would have been an automatic member. So every sector, yes, that is how it is. At certain point in time, you would even see a representation of the Youth Federation and non-voting member in Parliament. That is to the extent of representation. And every state-owned board needs to have a youth from the federation sitting on there. They are not just sitting in the board, they are making sure that the youth voices are heard.
Because I was going to go to the point of asking you, how do we practicalize this and put it in decision making at the apex of decision making in our country? And you just mentioned a few.
Exactly, yes. We are actually even working with the constitutional review team to ensure that there are certain statutory things that will be done. For example, Council of State, which is supposed to be the major advisory body to the presidency, there should be a youth representation there.
I mean,
and the federation would have to have a rep there. Already the National Youth Authority structure is having that. If you look at the constitution now, 3 persons from the Youth Federation sit on the National Youth Authority board. Already it's practical. So it's not something that is not being done. So practically, like you said, we are going to ensure that at every sector of our national development, youth are being keen. Even if it is leader, if it is chieftaincy, what are the roles young people are playing? You go to certain communities and they have a youth chief. In northern region they have youth chief. I know in Ashanti region they have youth chief.
It's the same with almost all the groups
exactly. So we are going to ensure that all of these people are not just glad with the youth chief, they are working for the interests of the youth. And that is what the federation stands for.
So does it mean that, for instance, the Mbrantia Hene of the various ethnic
Mbrantia Hene, exactly,
would be a part of
they are part of the federation because their role is for national development but there are various regions.
You are a national body. How then do we pick these people from every region to be part.
Okay. So I was coming there. The federation is national, but national is not national without region and districts.
Okay.
What makes Ghana? Because of the regions and the district, that makes
so
Ghana.
then-
So we are going to have district federations
Okay,
formed.
that's fair.
We are going to have the regional federations launch, and then the national. The national is just more or less policy and monitoring. The real people that will do the work is the regional federations.
Okay,
So the regional federation would work with all of these people. Even the district federation work with this Brantiahini,
Yeah.
and then there be Paul Anna from the northern part of Ghana, and all of those. That would then ensure that the youth the participation of youth is felt everywhere in governance, and even the district assemblies. We are going to work to ensure that there is the federation. And when we say the federation, you see, somebody can say that, but a young person can still be an NDC candidate or MPP. We understand that, though. The moment you become political, we don't see you to represent the total independent view of youth. You may think you are, but we don't see you. The federation is non-political.
Okay.
Is non-partisan.
Okay.
So federation is federation. So if, let's say, for example, you can tell me Sammy Jemfi is a young person. So what of that? Yeah, he's a young person, but he's politically colored.
Okay.
And his interest will always be his political party, not the interest of the Ghanaian.
So does it mean that we are going to neglect such people?
No, we
Or do
work
have
with
a-
all of them.
Okay.
We work with all because they are the youth in politics. So Sammy Jemfi is a youth in politics. So we work with them. Their interest is felt. The only thing is that they may not stand for leadership of the federation. If that is done, at the end of the day, the federation become politically driven.
Exactly, just like
But
what
we
we
work
have.
with them. We work with everybody in the media, in politics, traditional leadership, youth in everywhere. If you look at the current composition of the leadership, we have a rep from the Ghana Federation of Disabled Organization or so. Yeah. We have a rep from Ghana Girls Guide, different
Girls
sector,
Guide,
and
yeah.
then the religious bodies, the Catholic youth, and then JIMSA. So it's everywhere. The federation is not limited by what we do. It's everywhere. As far as youth can be found there, then the federation is interested in it.
That's fair. That's
Yes.
that's good to know. Are we doing the cheap bit of it, or
Yes,
if you can? But yes, let's sum it up. Sum it up. What you stand for, and then I mean for the local people to also appreciate.
Yeah.
nea yɛpɛ sɛ yɛka nyina ne sɛ mmabunu no yɛmbrɛ nie
Okay.
yɛmbrɛ aba sɛ yɛka sɛ Ghana Youth Federation a ɛyɛ kuo a aban ɛto esi wɔ sɛ yɛn na ɛbɛhwɛ ekuo nyinaa a ɛfa mmabunu ho nti yɛka Apex a kyerɛ sɛ yɛn na ɛwɔ soro paa kyerɛ sɛ emu odu nti afoforɔ no nyinaa bɛhyehyɛ yɛ ase
Okay.
na afei adwumadi yɛbɛyɛ ne sɛ ɛbɛboaboa mmabunu no nyinaa no ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛboaboa mu na ma ɔmo akɔda fie ne mu yɛboaboa ɔmo na yɛasan ama ɔmo ahyɛ ɔmo den yɛhyɛ ɔmo den wia na afei yɛama ɔmo aka sɛnea yɛsusu ɔman no yɛadwene ɔman no ho yɛyɛ ɔman no yɛtoto ɔman no nneɛma no yɛde ɔmo abɛhyɛ mu ɛnti sɛ yɛboa ɔmo ano na yɛhyɛ ɔmo den wia afei na yɛde ɔmo aboa ɔman no mpuntu
Okay.
na yɛde ɔmo asi baabi ama ɔman no so etimi akɔ n'anim nti na yɛpɛ sɛ yɛka
Matthias, so quickly, let's look at this. In you have mentioned we've spoken about things with empowerment and development. We have looked at a bit of democracy because this whole system is a way of ensuring that the youth participate in our form of democracy we have. Because if we're able to push the youth to the level of seeing to it that they are represented in the decision making, the apex of decision making. I mean, the legislature. It goes a long way to solidify our democracy. But in the area of opportunity, job creation, human resource capacity building, what is the Youth Federation, Ghana Youth Federation, going to do?
That's a very brilliant question. In the area of job creation, you see, every country in Africa, especially Ghana by far, have to be a bit more level-headed when it comes to job creation, because at the moment our unemployment rate is hitting double digit, and we've been trying to bring it to a single digit, but nothing is showing. So for us as a federation, it is going to be one thing on the federation radar that would make sure that we work with all the entities. You see, the federation's mandate is to ensure the collaboration. Collaboration here is that the National Youth Employment Authority, YE, Youth Employment Authority,
YE.
which is led by Malik Basintale. The federation is to work with Malik and his team to ensure that the needed jobs are created for the Ghanaian youth. We are supposed to serve as the accountability platform to ensure that they are doing the work. Where they are falling short, we can advise and create the other opportunities. Because at the moment, nobody is asking those people leading these agencies what they are doing. So they come out and tell you 100,000 jobs has been created. Whether you like it or not, some people are happy. Doing very well, you are not even engaged. But okay, I heard the minister says that 100,000 jobs has been created
how
for the
do you
youth.
improve it?
Exactly. So we, the federation, is going to make sure this is proven. Give us the numbers, the jobs you created. We are going to make sure we follow and tell Ghanaians the real story. So this is where the difference comes in.
We see to it that in terms of finding opportunities, it becomes fairly distributed.
Exactly. That is one thing about the federation, to ensure that if you are creating jobs, for example, the YEA again was employing young people for police community police. How was the selection done? The federation have to play a critical role in the subsequent one. As a mouthpiece for youth, we need to sit on the table that did the selection. We need to be part of all the systems to ensure that the youth are clearly represented. So this is where we'll create a role. But the federation also have power on its own to also engage development partners, come up with initiatives that can create jobs.
I was even going to go to
exactly.
That point. I think you're already running
to the point. Yes, I have done this severally. So
anyway, this was not planned. It looks as though we already diving. We seem to be in the same tangent.
Exactly. You've been a leader before, so you know the pain. So
exactly.
When we talk about this,
what is making the conversation interesting is that the time has really come for us.
Yeah.
I think we have also prepared so well for this. So it's like opportunity coming at the right time. So we are so much ready for this.
Because I was just going to talk about how the federation is going to see to the partnership between youth groups and mainstream corporate world is solidified and bridged. How then do we make sure that people, members of NUCs who are students, can transition into your section, who are already in the corporate? How then do we see to it that transition works smoothly and effectively?
So you hit it right. That is why the federation now exists, to connect the students to entrepreneurship, to connect them to places they can really get mentorship and internship, to raise funding to support them, their entrepreneurial ventures. So the federation work is just to make sure that wherever there was not a bridge, build a bridge there. What is the bridge between students becoming leaders or taking charge in politics? It will get to a point that the federation will become big, that we can finance you to stand for political
Exactly. I am even looking at it from that point of view. Yeah. But I'm also scared that if we don't take care, it would end up becoming a political party on its own, because it kind of looks as though a number of the youth are certain that it is time for them to have a third party, like a third force. So if we are a bit unguarded, there's a probability. I mean,
but what would be wrong if GYF have a Ghana Youth Party? That's nothing wrong, But just that the federation wouldn't, because it has a mandate that is constitutionally rooted. So. It wouldn't get to that. But for me, I don't see anything wrong with that. That the Ghanaian youth feel that enough is enough. We want our own political party. But like I have to be honest with you, we have seen what John Mahama have done with this appointment, which for me, I think I'm happy about. As an advocate for youth, you would see that close to about 60% of his government is wholly youth. And I keep telling them, what they do today determines what the Ghanaian youth will do tomorrow. So if the Sami Jemfis, the Eric Ajis, the Osman Ayarga, the Pablo, Malik Basintale,
the regional minister for
Charlie, all of them, they are young. If they fail, they are failing a generation. And that is why I'm happy we have the federation now, because we will not let them sleep.
You certainly have to be on their toes.
We have to. I'm using your platform to get to them. Exactly. They know. We are happy that the president has given you the opportunity. And the young people, the success of the Ghanaian youth depends on what you are going to do. We don't want a situation whereby they will say that we gave you people the chance and we didn't deliver. And so for me and my leadership, we will definitely let you account. We'll come to you, show the president and all Ghanaians, especially the adult, the old one, that when you give the Ghanaian youth the power, we deliver. So we'll be on them.
Exactly. I mean, I must confess, I really appreciate whoever brought up this initiative. I think it's a great one. We have for so long fought for an opportunity like this to speak. I mean, in our various universities, in our various national youth groups. And I'm even happy that we have even included people from the faith-based organizations. Because most often than not, we seem to have some sort of, conflict emanating out of, I mean, you see, our Ghanaian culture is even deeply rooted in some of these things.
Exactly.
You understand? Chieftaincy. All these issues are coming up. I'm driving at a point though. So even though we are saying, I'm driving at a point. Now, one of the things I want us to even look at is that when we talk about Galamsey right now in the country, it looks as though governments have come, government upon government have come. They come and go, they come and go. But none of them seem to find a good solution to make sure that this is either reduced or even stopped totally. I am believing, together with the other, a chunk number of the youth who think that their voices are not heard in terms of decision making when it comes to finding solutions for the Galamsey menace. In fact, I'm joining them to believe that, or to say that our voices are not heard. Is it that this is going to position us to be heard? And I mean, from where you're coming from, do you have that in your mandate that you see to it that you bring out youth who are already involved in some of these illegal activities to, if not necessarily to say mainstream employment statuses, maybe some form of employment? Do you have that in your mandate? Because this is the cry of the youth.
So you are right that the young people in Ghana felt that we were not heard. And you see, I keep telling you that you are truly on the point, because we never had a body like a federation to speak for us, and now we have it. So it's just the beginning, but just the beginning. Now with the issue of Galamsey, and like you rightly said, we have seen that since we are talking about it, government upon government, but there's no changes. It is because of the interest of every other actor. Because do you want to tell me that you can sit here and tell me media is no good when you are a media person yourself? Even when things are not going well, because of your interest, you would want to save it, right? And the other issue is that you talk about Galamsey menace and want to stop it, but we don't really look at the critical thing, which is that the young persons involved in that Galamsey, why are they involved in it? It is not because the money is so huge. They see the risks. They see their colleagues die every day. They wish they have other alternative best paying jobs, but because the jobs are not there. So you go to that community, even we still have communities in Ghana don't have electricity.
Exactly.
And that means limited opportunities for them. You still have communities in Ghana that don't have the internet connectivity. So what are you telling? What do you want the young people to do? So they look at the nearest opportunity, which is Galamsey, which is the alternative for them, and they go into it. So if you really want to address Galamsey menace, apart from the rich people that use the young people to go into those pits, and some of them die, create jobs for them. That is what we would, the Federation would advocate for, because we need to be more practical than theoretical talking, knowing the problem but running away from it with jargons. That will never help our country. Because then I want the young person watching us to know that your future is in danger. Because if tomorrow there's no water to drink, with all due respect, some of these people fighting and talking will not be there. You would be there. The future is for you. You would battle with that. You battle with a problem you never caused.
That's fair.
We need to be very proactive. And for me, every youth leader and for the Federation, it is our responsibility not to fight with government, but to give government the alternative solution, which is we will mobilize the youth at those areas that Galamsey are prevalent. Look at the role the youth are playing, and we only need you to create the jobs. We connect those youth there. And I can tell you that we will do our best to move our youth, to let them see that the Galamsey menace is affecting our future. And so we have to set out today. That is what we will do with the Federation.
That's interesting. Eric, let me find out quickly from you. Somewhere last week, we saw the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, launch the so-called Nkukon Kitenkete, pardon me if I use that word. I know this initiative is a good initiative to see to it that the youths are engaged in some sort of agricultural activity. I want to find out, what is GYF going to do? Are you going to create your own form of jobs? Are we going to enter into agricultural ventures. I mean, other things that the youth can just lay their hands on, regardless of their educational background. Are you going to see that with the Youth Federation?
I think that we are not going to set up a different institution. It's the government of Ghana that has given us the mandate.
Okay.
Though we may not succumb to some of their leadings, but we are going to partner with government to now champion whatever he has for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if the government wants to introduce Nkukon Keten, we at our level would also engage our people.
Yeah.
How do we also get space in that Nkukon Keten?
How do we make sure that the
youth
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we also get on board. If we have a quota the government wants to give to us, we will now bring that to our people. So that when he's sharing our national cake, he will give our portion to us.
Okay.
So our constituency will also get their portion.
Okay.
We are not
Exactly.
going to just create something or empower leadership for the government, but we are going to work hand in hand with the government.
And just to add up to what Eric says, that whatever the government do, for example, this for a poultry project,
poultry.
the federation's responsibility is to pick it up and make sure the Ghanaian youth are aware of it. So every program that has to do with youth now, we are going to pick it up and make sure the common Ghanaian youth who do not have any political coloration benefit from it. That is just so. So it is our responsibility from now onwards. Government launch it. We will mobilize the youth for it. That is just so. Our role is that government, you said that you have 1 million for the youth. We will bring the youth to benefit from it. So, all of the programs like that one, like Ejumawura, like National Apprenticeship Program, we have already tabled all of them. We have already mapped all of them. We are now going to make sure that the Youth Federation, 1 million Skoda training under my good friend Sam George, Honorable Sam George. I have been to the launching. Exactly. He's yes. Yeah. All of them that, like I said, President did well with that youthful thing. So our responsibility as a federation is we are going to follow boot for boot every government
I love
youth.
That word, boot for boot.
Oh yes, every government youth program and ensure that the Ghanaian youth who may not wear a political color benefit. And even if they wear a political color and they deserve it, they benefit. The age of doling out government programs and monies and support to political persons is over. Yes, we know there's always a leverage. There would be the leverage. But let us be fair. Like Eric said, what would the independent Ghanaian youth benefit? And I think that every leader who wants to be a leader for long, or any political party who would want to really stay for long, I'm sure if they use the Ghana Federation and they are smart enough, they would be in power for a very long time.
Exactly.
Because we would let the Ghanaian youth who know what you are doing and make sure the Ghanaian youth benefit from your program. So why would you keep it to yourself or leave it for only your party people? And I know that now we are having leaders that are coming to understand that the Ghanaian, not only Ghanaian youth, the whole Ghana, we are changing. You saw our voting pattern, right? Even though unfortunately it was anger-based voting. But I think that now Ghanaians are growing. Sometimes you grow from anger, from thinking, right? Exactly. From the anger-based voting, the next time we are voting on logic. Exactly. We're going to be logical voters, where we see what you said you have done. Did you really, where you say you do, have you really done it? What is the impact? Did I really benefit? And I keep telling young people when I meet them and say that it is simple to judge every government or to just analyze the government. Look at how you used to spend your 100 cedi last month or last 2 months. Maybe you were able to come to office, buy your food and still left a change. The next period, if you see your 100 cedi cannot take you to that level, then that should tell you what the microeconomy is. The microeconomy is in your pocket.
That's true. I think the other issue too is that government shouldn't see us to be fighting with them. We are not in to fight with government.
Exactly.
No. They should rather see us as their mouthpiece for our
partners,
people.
For the youth.
Exactly. And to our youth-led organizations too, they should also be ready to partner with us. We are in for the good, both for the government and for our youth-led organizations. We are not in to fight anybody.
We are like a bridge connecting youth and the government.
For crying out loud, it is, if I can say, the only youth mouthpiece embedded in our constitution.
Yes, the federation.
So, what grounds do you have?
Exactly.
I just quickly want to find out. So far, so good. Have you encountered any challenge?
No. The National Youth Authority, which is our key government partner, has been very forthcoming. And I want to use your platform to say a very big thank you to the leadership. They have been forthcoming. And even the Minister of Youth and Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opariado, very forthcoming. And I think that if we continue in that tangent, they would really have a successful federation and a tenor. And we would also support their work. So we haven't encountered, but yes, we envisage challenges. But we want to promise every Ghanaian youth that you have your voice now. Forget about every other challenge. We would be able to trample. We have over 13 million youth across Ghana who automatically the Ghana Youth Federation represent. And if you have 13 million, bro, that means you have the huge constituency in the whole of Ghana.
Exactly.
Like Nooks will say. Now, Nooks know that there's a huger or a bigger constituency. So, Nooks is now part of us. So we need to understand that this time is our time. The government may even give us the voice and not the resources, but we need to understand that there is one thing giving you the chance. Let us show them that we are not just those leaders who used to follow. We are people who want to innovate. We are people who know what we want. And so if a Ghanaian youth cannot be part of politics, but you can be part of a federation to make a change for another young person, we may not feel it now. We may not see it now. But the generation yet to come will remember that one day you hosted the first ever interim leadership. And you didn't just host it, you created a platform.
You should put out your first name again for us so that
Sheriff Gali.
Wherever we see
Sheriff Gali.
Gali.
Yes, Sheriff Gali.
Maybe you can spell it out for them.
Somebody
wants to write to you or something.
SHERIF, and the Gali is GHALI. Sheriff
so
Gali.
We'll meet you by the roadside.
Yeah.
Honorable Gali. And am I encountered?
No, honorable count. We are not honorable yet. There's nothing honorable than working for you. We are just we are ordinary persons working, ordinary leaders working for Ghanaian youth.
That's
any youth across everywhere in Ghana should know that now you have a voice. Like I said in the inaugural speech, we are just the interim leaders, but you listening and watching, you are the leaders because you have to make this work. I alone cannot. You have to make this work. You need to join and make sure that we show them that this time around we are logical youth, not emotional.
Exactly. It looks like we are almost coming to the end of our discussion. It's been a very fruitful discussion anyway, and I wish we continue.
Yeah.
Maybe on another episode we'll come back and then look at what you've done so far.
Yeah. But you remember, I'm now a permanent
that's
the national agenda.
Yes.
So I want to say before you edit that out, I'm now a permanent pundit for the national agenda program.
That's fine. You're welcome. You always be on the show.
So I will bring the aspect of the social development, not politics. So
and we sincerely appreciate that. We will do the needful and have you on so that the voices of the youth will be heard all the time. Thank you so much, Eric, and thank you so much, Sheriff. Viewers, this is where we draw the curtains down on this episode of the National Agenda. We are still giving the youth the opportunity to talk to us about all the issues that are happening around them. And don't forget that on this show, we will discuss all the pressing national issues. And we will not leave every stone. In fact, we'll pick every stone, even if our legs hit it and we're about to fall. We'll leave no stone unturned. That's what I mean to say. Anyway, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, #Core Media Studios, #The National Agenda. You can find us on all our other social media handles like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. Yes, you know it. The Gen Zs know it. And we are here for you. Anyway, I didn't do this alone. I did it with the ever impactful, our president, Youth Federation, President, Sheriff Gali. And he was joined by the organizer, Eric Hirenchi. Hey, Victoria, Luther Continua.
Victoria
looks for no. So, yes, unfortunately, we have to say bye-bye to you for this episode. Stick with us. We'll see you again on another episode. Bye.